Yeah. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Gaming Geezer 1965. And yes, we're back with a very short tutorial. And why is this tutorial? Imagine that you haven't watched all the demos and you didn't stumble upon the feature where you can use the memory expansion unit. On a regular Commodore 64, that would be fit in, I don't know, because I never actually used one myself. It would either go in the cartridge port or the port that is now been swapped out for USB ports, your internet port, the HDMI port. Everything you need to get your Commodore 64 hooked up to modern stuff. But they've solved the problem by building in the expansion unit in the Commodore 64. I stumbled upon a demo that actually needed the expander program. And let me show you what I mean. They called the demo Expand, so you just know. I thought it was just a massive demo or something. So when you enter this there, you can see here, run me first. I didn't do that. I just overlooked it and I said, run disk. Oh, it still remembered my final settings, so it actually runs. Let's just reset this. So let me review my settings. Yes, it's enabled. So let me see what happens. If I go to my configurations and when I use this one, load settings, because this is my default setting for playing games. So let's see if everything is correct. Now the expansion is disabled and by default it says 2 MB instead of 16. And if I'm not mistaken, this one is enabled and that one is disabled, and that's true. So, before I forget, let's do a power cycle. So reset power cycle. That's actually turning off your Commodore 64 and then turning it back on. And it's the same as in plugging in a cartridge and turning it off and pulling it out again and then switch it back on. So let's check if everything went okay. Yes, it's disabled. So now we're going to the browser and we're going to the Starlight demo. And then we go to the Expand demo. So if you wouldn't run me first and you do this, I hope it doesn't make a fool out of me again. REU found none. Sorry, this demo requires a REU with a minimum of 512 kilobytes of RAM. So it actually says what you need. So you can do it on several ways. In the Commodore 64 Ultimate, they have been so kind to put a configuration file into the same folder as the demo. You could run it and then it's okay. But now we want to make our own configuration instead of a one called Run Me First, because Run Me First doesn't tell me what it does. So what I did was, when I got this demo, and when I loaded the Run Me First, I checked all my settings. And suddenly, at Memories and ROMs, I found this one enabled. And this one was set to 16 megabytes. So the demo said you need at least 512 kilobytes. But it doesn't matter if you give yourself more memory. So this was the setting they created. So let's go back. Let's not save it. Let's go to the file browser. And now we go back to my original configurations, enter. And you can see what I did there. I made one called Jiffy DOS plus Ultisid plus the RAM expansion. And when I load these settings, I got the same settings as they provided with the demo. So you know for sure that it works. Or if you get a game from the internet, for instance the Sonic game, where you need the RAM expansion unit, then you can just load in this thing and you can actually, let me show you, demos, and we go to expand, expand. And now without running run me first, run disk, and now he found it, 16 megabyte, he tests 512, that works. And now the demo is going to run. So, I know it's a very short video. I will show a short part of the demo. REU porn. Be relaxed, because there's no porn in this demo. I watched it all and there's no nudity, no girls. Just what they meant with this was a very elaborate way to say we are going to show you things that go beyond the memory of 64K in your Commodore 64. And yeah, when it comes to graphics, I know this can be done on the regular Commodore 64 as well. I've seen some demos that done even sharper graphics than this, but this is very much zoomed in. But I will not spoil you, because if you want to run this demo yourself, then you can do so. And well, that's all for today. So you've seen you can actually, next to making your own configuration files, you can make another one enabling the RAM expansion unit, give yourself the amount of space needed. And now if you run into a game that doesn't like having 60 megabyte, just read what the message says. For instance, if it just wants 512K, just set it to that amount of space and you're good to go. And don't forget, just like with real hardware, power cycle, so the Commodore 64 Ultimate can pretend that you're inserting a new RAM expansion unit and then you're turning it back on again. If you don't do this, it will remember the old setting, like you saw when I started this video. I wanted to start this game without the RAM expansion unit, I forgot the power cycle, and so imaginatively the RAM expansion unit was still inside, because I didn't power cycle, and so the demo would run. So that shows two things. When you're forgetting something, in this case when I'm forgetting something, then the Commodore says, okay, let's start the demo, because even though your setting says you don't have the expansion unit, you forgot to pull it out. So that's what you get with a system that works with virtual expansions that you can add to your system. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you still got questions after seeing this, let me know in the comments. But also, if you got tips or other tricks that I so far haven't shown in this video, it would be cool to also learn from you. And then I can make a video out of it also. Well, I thank you for watching and we see each other in the next video. Goodbye!